We carried it through. Me and her went to set snares yesterday. It just felt, it felt so heavy yesterday for some reason. I was like, why are we carrying this?
Yeah, everything felt heavy yesterday.
Yep.
Six strangers must return to the wilderness, paddling the old trade routes of their ancestors in northern Ontario. Surviving for 25 days with no modern technology. Learning the old ways from the elders. To reconnect to their past and find what truly matters. Huddled on the windy shore of Medicine Beach, the adventurers' food supplies are low, but spirits remain high after a special night blessed by the northern lights.
Well, guys, couldn't find us a partridge, but I found me a trap. Didn't come back empty-handed.
Partridge. Look at that. Nice. That was a good sleep. I think it was one of the best sleeps I've had since I got here, I think. Then again, I say that every morning, so just getting better and better.
Can't complain. Feet are a little cold, but that's why we got a fire.
Over halfway through.
We did notice about like 90% of our conversations were about our favorite foods.
Well, you made a new notch on your belt, too.
Yeah, I had to make a new notch on my belt.
It's getting skinnier.
Extra notch.
This morning was a partridge broth, and it was good too. But yeah, that's the key. I think you gotta get some carbs, some calories in you in the morning, or else you crash fast.
My pants are fitting a little bit looser, so again, hunger is definitely taking its toll.
The belt's breaking. Northern Lights were like, we couldn't see them.
We couldn't quite see the bulk of them because they were like north is just beyond the tree line here, but then some spread out. You know, we stood back just over there, and you know we could see birch bark canoes, a teepee, and the Northern Lights. Like,
you can see
when was
like,
the last time that was seen?
Yeah, you can see like pillars of light coming through the trees.
How many people have seen that? A shot of birch bark canoes, teepee, and
Northern
Lights all in one?
In the forest, and the lake, and the beach, and it was just like totally.
I have this painting at home that's a teepee with Northern Lights in the background, the trees like that. Yeah, so it was cool to see that. Yeah, it was awesome. Surreal.
Despite promising signs, the group have not been able to secure any new food sources and have decided to move camp.
We didn't catch anything here, so. But we've seen moose tracks along the beach, eh? As soon as we touched down, big moose tracks. It was crazy.
I figure the moose going through here stole all our berries.
Oh yeah, empty branches all over.
Yeah. Just checking out her 20+ traps.
Did you say 20?
Something like that.
Shit.
Upwards of.
Some rabbit, some squirrel.
She's a lone wolf, man. Like
She is.
hardcore. She likes the alone time, the downtime too.
It really picks her up. Like, you can tell when she's feeling down. Like, she was feeling really down yesterday about not having food and stuff. You could tell it was really affecting her behavior. She'd go off into the woods and do her thing, come back refreshed. Like, it's beautiful.
The plan is to get everything packed and go canoeing to the next location. Get there as fast as we can so we can set up camp and start fishing and hunting again and get another meal in our bellies. I'm just hoping that the next place is a better location for hunting and fishing. We had a hard time fishing in this location here. I didn't get anything in the traps. Didn't see any game at all, so hopefully the next place is a lot better.
In desperate need of food and shelter from the cold fall winds, the adventurers must challenge the open water yet again, traveling 8 kilometers to reach the winding river bends and, hopefully, a more fruitful area at Big Rock Camp. Despite their pride at how far they have already come, the adventurers have not had a fresh catch in days. They take off knowing that with their energy so low, the next camp needs to provide them with some food if they are going to survive the second half of their journey. To give them the best chance, they plan to establish a processing camp, and stay in the same area for several days while they try to replenish their food and build their fur stocks. With winds cooling, winter is on the horizon. They will need to work harder than ever.
I think that's an interesting thing.
This one piece will make 52 layers.
Watch on mobile devices or the big screen, all for free. No subscription required. Download Veely now.
Cold nights and hungry days have not discouraged the group, who make the long paddle to their new camp with a fresh appreciation of the journey they are on. Their feelings of connection to their ancestors and those who paddled these trade routes before them continue to grow. As they weave through the rivers, there are promising signs of wildlife in the area, including the incredibly valuable beaver.
Paddle here to Big Rock. Well, it was like the rest of Caleb and I paddling experience, very wet, but we made it after all.
Like every other paddle that we've had, it was cold. We had a hole in our canoe, a sizable one, so all the water kind of seeped through, and in about 20 minutes we were soaked, so that kind of sucked. I kind of lost it on Tim after he was telling me about getting out of cold water and into a windy spot.
Freezing.
Camp can stabilize.
Yeah, I was pretty grumpy from being wet for so long, so I kind of snapped at him.
Long paddle, that's for sure.
I think that was my first time snapping, pretty much. Yeah, it was like super cold, so I got pretty mad.
Ready?
Yeah, so we arrived here at Big Rock. You know, we saw a lot of beaver dams or dens along the river, so that's encouraging. I know that there's a lot of game trails in the back. Oh my God. I mean, there's a nice hill that we've come up and we set our camp up on the hill. Nice flowing river. You know, it should be really good. I think we'll be able to set our net in there. It's not too wide, and catch a few little fish as well over the next few days. So I think people are really happy with it, and spending a little bit more time here will be hopefully allow us to be more productive.
Big Rock offers a new type of challenge for the group. For the next several days, they will maintain the same camp, hoping the lengthy stay pays off in the form of food and fur stocks. With only 5, they must combat their exhaustion and complete all the tasks required by a successful camp. Always on their minds is how difficult this journey becomes the longer they are without food.
The hunger is taking hold a little bit more. I think 90% of our conversations revolve around food.
Aha! There is a squirrel in that tree. I'm gonna set some traps in that tree. Get that squirrel.
But they're like, oh yeah, I would totally eat that right now. Like people talking about s'mores or roasting marshmallows. I don't like marshmallows, but you know, I would eat a marshmallow right now. That would be awesome.
In terms of our diet being a lot leaner than they were a week or 2 ago, I can feel it coming up hills and going down hills, just trudging through the bush. It definitely takes a lot out of you.
Little things like the first few days going to cut wood was no problem. You know, you could whack away at a log repeatedly, no problem. Now I'm finding myself that I need to take breaks. You know, I need to stop, breathe, you know, walk away a little bit, go get some water, go back to it, keep going. You know, so it is starting to take an effect. Caleb has made a new notch on his belt.
Well, this place seems a lot better than the last place. First of all, because it's a little way less windy.
Oh yeah, that'll be huge. A lot more woods to work with rather than swamp.
Yeah, there's like perfect materials though. Like for everything we need. There's enough moss for the size, enough boughs. We'll have a nice comfortable bed.
I like being uphill because there's marauders.
And I noticed there's a big squirrel. Roast some beaver.
Try it out, see what we can get.
To help them make the most of the area, the adventurers are visited by a familiar elder.
Merchants, assemble!
Okay, watch it. Ik dat Roman opeming de Romaanse dat je yang nungum. We skada Roman kana gibi tawagoban. Mai na viano ma misteguk. Het no amake ma ichiwa kan we check. in the mid to the Reconnect. You was a guy Ubanan. Skatuma Nugan. Watch it, the Menendan, Minayoman and a book. And we might take no for me. We go again and the Kindameg and the got the Nekan, if we might visit no for me. We got to the Mogo and we got in work, go come in against the Kibama and Nanik. We got up to the Modi when you get it. Ayatas, we got to the Moban, you're going to have me and Jamat is like I said, this is we use mainly for underwater, under the ice when you go winter time, winter trapping. This is what I use anyways. The other methods people use, each trapper has their own way of setting traps. But when you do your trapping, you have to think about safety all the time. You don't rush what you're doing. But normally, what we'll do is we'll put this trap, put it over here. Oh, so the same. Like so. Here. And normally you would get a rope or a string. I don't know.
Gifting them a second beaver trap, Elder Stan shows them a new method for setting it under the water near the entrance of a lodge or dam.
It's ready to be set. Like I said, you would put it on a channel where the beaver run. You go like this, and then we catch it.
Yeah, Stan mentioned that the trap can break limbs, so I was maybe a little bit skeptical, especially since the first trap that we were using was pretty rusty and I wasn't sure if it would be smooth and fluid, but when he stuck that stick through and it just burst into a million pieces, that was pretty impressive, and I feel a little bit bad for that beaver.
With daylight growing short, Elder Stan guides the adventurers to some of the nearby beaver lodges to teach them how to set their traps overnight.
Amikwa kaya ni sakadiwe kasi ni boyang. It was music to sakadi ma watting kasi bimasid amek ni maji pagitninga tega aya wanigan. We just got the stumen. Go on bandas. I don't know, I'm getting kind of weak. So pagitnaman asi watit amek. As je bent de wet, ik ga er zo tot dan, ik ga er zo. Kan in, ik dacht dat ben, ik bak kopie hè. Zo, comandas, ik ga er zo.
So yeah, Elder Stan came back to teach us about trapping beaver and setting traps. So yeah, that was a really good teaching, and I think a lot of the reason why we're here is to learn that skill in particular. We've all been anticipating that, being merchants of the wild and trading in beaver pelts and those types of things. So obviously this was a big deal for our entire group and a big lesson for us coming out here.
Okay, go wider, pull it. Okay, keep going, you're doing okay. You're doing great. You're a professional trapper. Okay, okay, undo the safety, but you don't snap it. Okay, now pull these together. Go slow, gently. Don't jerk it, they might. Okay, pull together, tight, and we'll hold it.
So for him to teach us how to set those traps and climb up onto a beaver dam. I've never done that before. I've never seen a trap set. I've never even looked into it or researched it. So this was all brand new for me, which has been different than all of the other experiences that we've had so far in teachings. I've at least looked into a lot of stuff and knew maybe in theory on how to do it. So this one, this is a huge skill, and I've just never looked into it, never thought that I would ever trap beaver before. So that was really, really cool teaching from Stan.
Stan's like the craziest dude ever, man. He's wicked. He totally showed us up on his axe skills. Like he was like, it just looked like he was chopping cheese, man. It was crazy. Like really humble and courteous as well, because he let us knew all the way through this lesson that this is just the way I do it. It's not the right way, it's just the way I like to do it. And he just threw us up on that beaver dam, and he's like, way here. Jumping around in the puddles and stuff. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. One healthy dude, that's for sure.
I'm setting 2 poles onto a base and lowering it slowly into the ground or in front of the beaver's hole where it comes in and out. And he taught us how to prop sticks up on either side and how to lure him with poplar. Apparently that's popular. And so the beaver, yeah, we got a great lesson from Stan. I guess he's been doing it a very long time.
I'm so hopeful that when we check them in the morning, there will be a beaver and we will have food. It would probably be really delicious.
Needing to leave their traps until morning, the adventurers return to finish setting up camp and collect enough firewood for the cold night ahead. After their lesson, and the long paddle to camp has drained their energy, the group's priority of shelter has left them no time to set snares or find a good area for their fish net. As their only real chance of food, the beaver trap has become essential to their survival and one of the most crucial teachings they have received. The seasons are changing, and their coldest night yet leaves the adventurers facing a snowy morning and the realization that winter will make living off the land that much harder. After 3 days with no food, it is another challenge for them to overcome.
Oh, this morning. Well, this morning, first thing I hear was Caleb, hey, Brennan, look outside. And I looked through a little crack and saw that it was snowing, and yay, I like the snow. And then, that was enough of a jolt, I guess, to our systems.
Hungry, tired, and cold, Michaela braves a solo paddle to check on their new beaver traps with the pain of recent failures fresh on her mind. After one night, the success of their long-term camp is already in doubt.
Yesterday morning, I woke up early and I went and checked all my traps, and I had about 30, and there was nothing in them, so I started the day off a little dejected, a little sad. But we packed up camp, and we got in our birch bark canoes, and we paddled until the mouth of the river, and paddled down this really nice, calm river. It was such a nice change from the windy lake. You could see different, I guess it looks like moose area, like lots of willows and stuff. So it made you feel more hopeful, like, okay, there's more animals around here.
Having followed their teachings, the thrill of securing new food and a warm fur has never been higher. With the rest of camp just waking, Michaela triumphantly returns with their first significant catch of the journey.
Michaela comes up the hill with a trap full of beaver. We just got super excited. We're at ease now, now that our lessons, are showing fruitfulness, it's great to see. Not that I don't like fish or bird, but it's nice to have a break from that.
I don't think we had too high of hopes just based on our previous experiences with snaring or using our fishing net, right? So Ebony, I think, was the first one out of our teepee to kind of meet her on the trail.
Yeah!
Michaela, I know she was talking about how she lives off the grid with her father.
Never been this close to such an intact beaver.
Really?
Not only will it feed us, we'll get the fur and the fats and the bone, skull. Teeth are good for something, aren't they? Sharp.
I usually make beads out of them.
Good for carving spoons, I imagine.
You just have to be very careful that you don't cut the furs, because the more cuts you have in it, the less it's worth. It's kind of just about like the pressure of the knife and how you're pulling it.
Well, Michaela's definitely been a saving grace.
What's that connection? Because the whole point of us being out here is to learn this stuff, and you kind of can't help but think of your ancestors, basically. It was just their daily life, you know what I mean?
But we all bring a little something to the table, I think. And Michaela definitely brings that. Now she's down there smoking it for us. And
We always had beavers. My dad was always trapping every winter. And I used to beg my mom to let us stay up late at night so that we could watch him skin the beavers. And after he was done skinning them, we were able to like go and dissect the beavers and learn about, you know, the different organs. That was part of homeschooling, yeah. It was just, we try and incorporate all those different things into our homeschool.
She's been carving that up for the past couple hours now, it seems like, but it looks pretty freaking good, man. Like I'm totally up to eating it. Despite what I've heard about beaver, I'm hungry, and why the hell not?
I've never had beaver before. I'm looking very forward to the finished product.
You know, our group is pretty resilient, I think. You know, we're working really hard, and just you got to keep going. You can't stop, right? Nobody's gonna do it for us.
Seasons will change. Challenges will mount. But the land provides for those who respect it. Unity is our greatest tool. Will we take our place in keeping the teachings? Can we bear the responsibility of becoming the next elders?
Press every button.
Oh, that looks good. Poor Timmy though over here. Poor guy. Can we see? Can
Ready?
we see? Yeah. Ooh.
Is it leaking right away?
No.
No.
Really? Sweet.
Holy, you really took a chunk out of it too, though.
Got a little
Yeah,
boo boo. Timmy's got a boo boo.
Six strangers must return to the wilderness, paddling the old trade routes of their ancestors in northern Ontario. Surviving for 25 days with no modern technology. Learning the old ways from the elders. To reconnect to their past and find what truly matters. Having established their new processing camp at Big Rock, the adventurers can now take time to explore the terrain and build up their stocks before winter hits. With 2 beavers already caught, things are looking a little brighter. But as Michaela begins to check their traps, she discovers something has happened to the first hide they have managed to secure from a beaver.
Something stole our hides in the middle of the night.
We had 2 of our beaver pelts sitting down by the river.
I had her wedged up here.
I heard something walk in, but couldn't tell what it was.
Yes, we got a very unpleasant surprise this morning when we woke up and discovered our pelts had gone missing. Someone absconded with them.
Le français.
It's still fresh. It's got skin on it.
Well, how do you say, coureur de bois?
Like we feed our dogs the fur because it's really healthy for them. It helps cleanse their systems.
They're all around.
A lot of animals love to eat the fur. I mean, you could use the fur for making a nice little bed in your shelter.
We heard a lot of crows. We were suspecting maybe it was them, but it's a little too heavy to carry off.
It's kind of depressing. All that work.
Yeah, we were just kind of keeping all of our extra bits of beaver down there. You know, our jerky, semi-processed dried meat was hanging up in a tree, keep it away from bears and critters and things. But the pelts are on the ground, and I guess something came and scooped them away, which is too bad.
Maybe there's a porcupine around here. I mean, we are in a pine forest.
But it was still had some of the fatty tissue on it. We just didn't want that attracting anything to our shelter, so we kept it down by the water.
I think it was what we least expected to get stolen was the hides. Because we were more worried about the beaver that we put into the river. We were like, oh, someone's gonna come and take the meat. Some water-loving animal. But no, it was the hides.
So we'll just have to catch a few more beaver, so then we have a few more pelts to work with. Would have been nice to have like one each or something. Now we're starting back at 0.
Pretty disappointing. But hopefully, full faith in Michaela. She's like an amazing trapper. Hopefully she'll bring something back. But I don't know. 3 beavers out of 1 dam is, 1 area is asking for a lot.
Silly us, I don't know. Guess we'll learn, put something on it, like a rock, hang it up with the meat. We'll learn. Somebody will be watching this and think we're fools. We're learning. We are amateurs.
Well, that stops a lot of people from learning when you're afraid to make mistakes. And so you have to get over yourself and just say, like, it's all right to make mistakes, because sucking at something is the first step to being really good at something. And I think it's something that it took me a long time to get over. Not even just being here, just in life. Just, you have to be new at things to get better at things.
I guess after the beach, right? The beach was kind of like a dud of an area for us. We didn't acquire anything, no food there. So when we got here and we got a few beaver right away, I think we've been enjoying our time and just relaxing a little bit. I think we earned it. But you know, we can't always do that. We gotta keep going, and we have a couple days of jerky, you know, maybe 1 or 2 more soups left worth of beaver. We haven't set any snares here. We haven't set the net, so we got to get those things going. Our shelter's good. We've generally been acquiring enough wood for the night, so what else is left but to get food? We enjoyed some downtime, and now it's back to work.
Even though their processing camp is reaping rewards, the adventurers have quickly realized that nothing is certain and the work never stops when you are surviving on the land. Taking advantage of their semi-permanent camp, the adventurers delegate their tasks and work together as a team. By applying the vast wisdom of their teachings, repairing and setting their fish net, laying multiple snares, smoking meats, and collecting adequate supplies for camp, they are embracing their ancestors' lifestyle and spirit. As part of this development and reconnection, Michaela begins passing on her own knowledge, teaching Ebony how to prepare the beaver they stored overnight in the river, just as she was once taught by her father.
You can nice and, like, you're skinning it.
My mom's dream was always to have a little self-sufficient farm lifestyle. But I was young and stupid and tried my hardest not to learn anything. I was getting into a little bit of trouble on the res, and my mom decided it was time to change the lifestyle a little bit and fulfill her dream. Looking back on it now, I wish I had helped her more. Like, I wish I had tried, because I would have learned more. She would have been happier. I would just like to be more connected with my environment, like just to know that, yeah, just to be connected with things that are closer to me, you know what I mean? Rather than go to the store and get your medicine, you can pick your medicine and know that you had a hand in it, because I feel like your energy, the energy that you put into it matters, whether it's like for some people it's spiritual, for some people it's like a scientific thing, but your energy and your intent really matters in the things that you do, because those are the things that change your life. I also gotta wash that pot. Do you want me to go grab that sap for you?
Yeah, and then we'll grab the sap and I'll get the fire
That's
going.
Michaela's life. Like, she was chosen for it, for sure. Because she loves it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's good that everybody's doing a bunch of jobs and now I can repair my canoe.
Noticing a canoe has begun taking on water, Michaela and Brendan return to their first teaching to repair a small hole by sourcing spruce gum to mix with bear grease and create pitch.
You can just tell by the way she conducts herself that it's her passion. My mom always encountered like a lot of racism because she was a white lady who like loved the culture. And so everything I learned about my culture and the Maliseet culture, I learned from my mom. You can't deny who you are, you know what I mean? You can't deny that your mom was white, but you also can't deny that your father was Native. And so it shouldn't be a fight. It shouldn't be a fight for anybody. Like, and it's hard to see like even like Gabby, I was saying white man. I was like, your mom's white. And it's kind of like, I don't know, it just kind of pissed me off a little bit. I was like, why do you can't encourage hate. You can't encourage hate in any capacity because it just breeds more hate. Because you see it all the time, especially on reserves. Go to town school and get made fun of for being native. You go to the res school and you get made fun of for being white. And so you grow up like really questioning who you are. And I think getting back to the land that's the most important, because that's who you are, is your skills.
After their successful teaching of trapping beaver, elders Harvey and Dorcas visit to teach the group how to stretch the beaver hides.
Min ayadas kotang gibinanan. Kasi go bananan na ya beef aya amik. In ko amendegum to sige into dognets.
Oh, you guys come over, please.
Wait the peace out.
Come over. Wait, take a beach out.
Wait.
Oh, you gotta stand here. I grabbed some materials earlier. I used the willow because I got it by the river where it's wet, easy to bend. And I gathered some willow roots. That's what we supposed to use for the string. Like back in the day, I guess, when you had no string. You let them, like you gather a whole bunch and you soak it. So they'll be easier to do whatever you want. They're pretty strong. Eh? So after you're done soaking them, you just peel them like a little bit, and it will come to the white. When they're wet, they're better. And they're actually like string after when you're done with them. Then they're really strong. But when they're wet, they're better and bigger. Like this is perfect. That's what they use to tie them up after. See? They're good. So try to look, when you look for your materials in the bush, try to get ones where like, you see how it is right here, smooth.
Yeah.
Has
no stems.
No stems. You see, that's where they crack.
For mittigon na ing nasibingon din namok. Jinibiyon ginago kanin no mingon undinake mittigo the book self.
This is where they're showing the materials they use, but for like something like this would be better. See, it has no roots, no stems like this, where it cracks.
Minjikonik, nabitizok, and nabitizok, and naidis. Gegon sabogay, yeah. Gegiskimen, gorgian.
A key teaching for fur trading, stretching a hide makes it possible to clean and prepare fur stocks before they could be used as clothing. For centuries, beaver pelts were one of the driving forces of the trade routes, being prized for their resilience and texture, and becoming the standard for European trades. Wet willow branches are bent into a loop and bound by cedar roots or string. Small holes puncture the fur, and the string or root is laced through and tied to the sides, allowing the fur to be stretched out, then scraped clean and dried.
So you learned this from your parents and grandparents. Have you passed it down to your kids?
I residential school ngisha. Ngionitunda siya bangia.
She said she went to residential school and she didn't really practice it after she lost it all. I was in residential school. I just had a daughter about a month ago, so I plan to teach her all this. What I learned from them and my parents, my grandparents. It's the way I live. I do a lot of hunting. I spend most of my time in the bush when I can, but these days it's getting harder because it's bush is all clear cut. You go far up north, up the river, and it causes lots of up there gas. And then my trap line is like, it's all clear cut now. I don't really do much trapping anymore, so I used to do a lot of trapping when I was younger with my mother. Now, like when I go in my trap line, I can see right across. It doesn't make me want to feel like it ain't bush anymore. So now they ask me to cut my line and I just let them, because I work at the mill myself, so I gotta provide for my family somehow too.
I don't like doing it, but I have to. Choose not to, but I have to. Back's against the wall pretty much. I gotta eat. These days, they say these days are over, but I don't think so. It's like, I try to teach a lot of people, young people back home too. They don't want to touch blood or even the fur. They think it's bugs or whatever. That's what people are teaching them, I guess. Yeah. They don't want to touch nothing no more. Kids, even I take the moose hunting, they want me to do it, gut it, and everything for them, and they ask me to help them, and I end up doing it. Like their family don't teach them how to eat and survive anymore. Like they want everything done for them these days. I find they lost it somewhere. Their parents. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You already cut a hole there?
Yeah, manake. Yeah.
I'm just stretching it out, see what size it is, then I'm going to start weaving it.
This string?
Mm-hmm.
There should be more.
The adventurers begin to realize that these teachings are not only about the survival of the individual, but the survival of a people and a culture. By receiving the teachings, they now bear responsibility to pass them on. They are bound to the lessons and are becoming a link in a chain of knowledge. With a growing determination to respect the teachings and do the best they can, the group redouble their efforts to secure more food and fur. Michaela and Brendan begin setting snares in the surrounding woods.
Like the way Michaela can go out and feel better after she just has some alone time in the woods. Like I understand that and I understood all of that, but I always felt like I didn't have the skill set necessary to utilize any of that. And then now it's inspired something, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna do all the things that I kind of like casually thought about, like, oh, I could do this. But I think it's strengthened my resolve to do that stuff now.
So it's gonna come running. Hopefully aim for there. But you set another one. Maybe 5 or so. I'll stick that on there so a bird can't just take it away. There you go.
Meanwhile, Caleb scores beaver meat at the smoker to preserve it.
Been at this for a while now and I'm only like halfway done, so I don't mind it though. I like it.
And Tim solo paddles up the creek to set their fish net at a narrow pass.
There's a couple pieces that are done, so I'll probably collect what's done and give him something so when he's gone he has something to chew on, munch on.
Just getting out in nature, that's my favorite thing. Feel connected to the land, connected to who I am as an Indigenous person more than ever when I'm out doing these types of things, and that's why this experience has been powerful for me. Trying to solidify my own Indigenous identity among a confused world, you know? I don't come from a reserve.
Another triple whammy here.
As she takes greater responsibility onto her shoulders, the continued struggle begins to weigh on Michaela.
Just no luck today. I just feel embarrassed and ashamed that I can't get anything in my traps. I just know there's probably a trapper watching it, just like laughing at me, just like thinking I'm an idiot because I don't know where to set these traps. It just feels terrible to not have anything in your traps.
The place where we're implying it at the time of year, less chance of it working. It could, I'm still hoping it works. I have faith.
Just doing my best, but you keep coming up short and it just makes you feel like you're a failure.
We plan enough traps, eventually we'll get something.
Yeah, so for this to be ceremony, for this to be a learning experience, to be on the land, to connect with past is just,
I mean, look at me. I'm in a birch bark canoe setting a net, you know, living in a teepee. This is amazing. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm so lucky. We're all lucky to be here.
I asked Groucho Marx how he enjoyed his trip to Africa. He said, great, I shot an elephant in my pajamas. How he got in my pajamas, I'll never know.
Oh, it makes no sense, but it's freaking hilarious. I'm feeling better, happy, feel off, whatever. On to the next trap.
For the first time on their journey, the adventurers record a personal message for their loved ones at home.
Hello. I'm still alive, still in the bush here in Northern Ontario. Having a great time. I'm learning a lot.
I guess my first shout out would be to Monty, my son, Montgomery. If you watch this, don't eat lots of sugar because you get sugar withdrawals for sure, man. So.
Last night, I tried beaver for the first time, and I was privileged enough to get to suck the eyeballs clear out of the skull.
I just want to start off by saying that I'm doing okay. It's been a lot of ups and downs. It's been pretty fun. It's been really, really tough. This is the toughest thing I've ever done.
Just want to give a shout out to my family, to Bear and to Aspen and to Olivia and the boys. I'm doing a lot of really cool stuff you guys would be really, really proud of. And I can't wait to tell you all about it.
Actually, there's two hardest parts. It's being pretty hungry, a lot in the woods, and hunting for your own food.
And to my mother specifically, you better be prepared to take me to Mongolian Grill once the plane lands, because I know it's right by the airport, so build an appetite.
I got another shout out that I would do to Coffee. I miss you. I'm coming home eventually to drink you. I miss coffee really badly in the morning, and sugar and other foods. Yeah.
But the hardest part recently has been missing everyone. I also want to say hello to Oma and Auntie.
I'll be home soon and thinking about you guys lots.
I love you guys, and I miss you, and I can't wait to see you.
Yeah, it'll be okay. I'll be home soon.
Once again, doing fine, doing great. To quote Public Enemy, I'm on top of the world, Ma. Ben Riley, over and out.
We are made of what we create, not what we've lost. What was taken cannot be replaced. It must be made anew. The land teaches us that life is change, struggle, adapting. Can we embrace who we are and what we carry to join the circle of knowledge? Will we become the bridge between past generations and our people's future?
Udebelitigan Richmando. Pinanakumago na Nortagizigak. Minegi Melomadzisiak. Mininan Mascavizian. Nestaga Centagus win. Mlogonomanan. Nesta Shaweniminan. Anurt Nesta Kagige. Hinabu Agigekon. Anurtitayan. Emelomadzisiak. Nortagizigak. Nesta Kagige. Mingwes Kitchamandu. Mingwes Kitchamandu.